Judge Chris Helton in East Ridge City Court tells to us, sit down. You have no business representing that poor woman in the traffic case. You have no business. You are not an attorney. You are not licensed. Sit down. You have no right to speak for her. And so I did. You'll be able to read that story today either at Nuganomics.com or at East Ridge News Online. And that is an encounter yesterday where I was put in my place. I was told that I'm effectively an obstreperous upstart, and I'm damaging the reputation of law, damaging the interests of the defendant, a woman who works in a restaurant, a very poor woman who is a shift manager at a fast food store, who faces 3 criminal charges under a statute which does not apply to her. So guess what? Guess what I was prepared to do in her benefit. Well, I couldn't do it at all yesterday. And that is because Judge Chris Helton says that only an attorney can be your counsel. You have an absolute right to counsel under the Constitution and under statute, but it's not absolute. And that is because we're telling you can only have as your defense a licensed and practicing attorney. You can't have a next friend, which is what I was purporting to be. I was purporting to be and presenting myself as next friend of this poor woman. Facing 3 charges, so you'll find out more about that today. Just keep tuned either to Nuganomics.com or East Ridge News Online. This is David Toulis, 927, live on Facebook at Nuga Radio, and also live on YouTube. Where if you have a smartphone, make sure you have the TuneIn Radio app, and there we are all the time, live streaming of all our great shows. We have Sean Hannity at 3. And we have Alex Jones in the evening. We have a terrific sports show at dinner time. And if you haven't tuned into us in the morning ride, we have a 3-hour all live, all news show. No chit chat, no twaddle. A twaddle-free newscast with Russ and Val every morning, starting at 6 o'clock. So make sure you keep it here at 92.7. We argue, love your neighbor, buy local. Near is better than far. Small and big, and simple than complex. Brought to you by Your News. Today I have you might say a special theme, and that is the bringing of peace and tranquility to the realm, and to having people end disputes, end their arguments, and their nattering, and their disagreements. There are many ways of doing it. We hear from Carol Burrs about her private dispute resolution services business. And there's a way of anticipating problems too, and that would be a different line of business. And we could say that would be one who works on workplace culture. How do you have a better culture in your business? Often rules and policy is set by people. People or policy is in many ways true. And so sometimes you have a problem in your business that rises from a particular person with his or her particular perspective and experience. And that person, unless you fire him, is going to be there. So how do you change that person? How do you change how that person interacts with others? That, as you were saying to yourself, has been for ill more than once, for ill. Well, Lisa Crawford is a consultant. She runs LJC Motivations, and her goal is to improve the atmosphere in your nonprofit organization, in your office, in your plant. Lisa, welcome to the program. Tell my listener a little bit about workplace culture and how problems can pile up there from human interactions and misunderstandings.
Well, David, people are my business. I am a master communicator and a master relationship builder. So in the workplace, you're there for 12, 13 hours. If you were working in the hospitality industry or in the service industry, you're there for a long period of time. So when you're walking around and you're doing the very best that you can, and your leader passed by without even saying hello, how does that make you feel as a hard hourly worker? And so that is my foundation, is building trust, building communication across departments, understanding respect for one another, understanding what the leader is going through, but this is mainly for the leader.
Well, what are the leader's problems?
Well, sometimes they get so caught up in what they're doing that they, as I was told once, I said, this leader never, ever speaks to me. And she said, well, the HR department said, well, he's busy. But what if I did that and I had customers? I'm a salesperson. I have customers. How is that going to benefit the customer if I walk past them and I don't speak, or the banquet server or the housekeeper, and I continue to walk past them? They're the ones that bring the business. They bring the people back.
You mean the common working person, the workforce employee is the one who generates business?
They are the bottom line.
How does that work?
Because you can only make one sale, but it's up to those teams.
When you say you mean the owner? The owner?
The sales manager.
Okay.
The sales manager makes one sale, but the team keeps the people coming back. So if my housekeeper is unhappy because she has an issue and you didn't even take time to greet her when she's pushing sheets and cleaning people's back, cleaning the bathroom and all that, you didn't take time to speak to her, she might have an attitude. So when the guest comes out, they're going to remember, oh, I asked that housekeeper a question, she didn't answer me. So that gives them some weight to go somewhere else.
So even the lowest hireling in my listener's business is important, because that hireling has interactions with the public, which is to say customers, perhaps, and future buyers, future contract parties.
In my opinion, the housekeeper, the banquet server, the hostess, they are more important than the sales manager because they bring them back. And
the question is, does that person have a smile on his face, or does that person have a frown as she is bussing the table?
Most of the time, if they're being greeted, it is so imperative that a leader simply genuinely speak without the intention of responding to, or ask how they're doing without the intention of responding the way they want to, but listen, being active in the listening process.
Is there a good question that the manager should be asking the staff?
It is so simple. How was your day? How are things going? We've gotten so far away from human contact. We were born with vocal cords, but everybody wants to email and text. And so in the hospitality industry, it's a people business. So deal with your people as you want them to deal with the people that's bringing in the money.
So that would be a salesperson. That could be a person who works in the garage. If you're running a car shop, that could be the man who comes to give the customer the report on what the problem is that he's going to have to pay $500 for. Right? So that everybody in that business who has an interaction with the customer should have a good interaction with the owner or the manager.
That's right.
And so if the man with his grimy hands and a rag comes up to the customer in the waiting room and says, "Well, sir, I'm the man who was assigned to check your rumble problem in your car, and guess what? You've got some bearings that are bad in your rear axle, and you've got brake pads that are bad. It's going to cost you, let's see here, $700. That's bad news." So that man, in giving that news, has to have really a good approach to that customer. And you're saying he will do a better job in that interaction if his owner, or the owner of the business, or the manager offers what you teach.
Exactly. What I'm saying, you can deliver bad news. It's in your tone. It's in your delivery, like you said. So if you have training along the way to help your staff interact with difficult conversations or difficult clientele, that can be effective toward the bottom line of the business.
Well, your business is called LJC Motivation. So how is are you a motivational speaker? If you do, when do you speak and how do you speak? Or where's the motivation part of what your area of expertise, Lisa Crawford?
My ultimate goal in life is to motivate people to be their best selves, whether it's in their personal life or in their business life. They need to feel that they matter. And with the way the life is right now, people feel like they're just a number. They're just an email away from an instruction. Nothing really matters. There's no personal connection anymore. Before we had technology, we had to talk. And so I'm a talker. And I want people to really get back into the old way of doing things and communicating. And some people tell me, well, this business is not going to work because millennials, all they want to do is text. They don't want to have conversations. It's about creating an atmosphere where people can communicate, work together, and create vision together. You can't always do that through technology.
I think one point you're making, Lisa Crawford, is that the worker in my listener's business is also a customer of the business, right? Because that worker is buying dollars from your business, and he's giving you in exchange for those dollars his time and his or her skill, knowledge, and background. So there's an economic relationship happening there too. You can't assume that just because you have someone on a payroll or someone working for you under a contract that person is not also a customer. He has to be treated with a kind of deference, with a kind of other-centric perspective, Lisa Crawford, that you're suggesting we all develop more.
Right. I consider it the internal guests. So you have your external guests who bring in business, and you have your internal guests who maintain the business. So with your internal guests, you want to make sure that you have something in place to give them some kind of acknowledgement or some kind of praise. Everybody doesn't want to be praised the same way. Some people need it. Some people need an email. Some people need a quiet moment to say, "Oh, Lisa, you did a great job. David, I'm so proud of you." But some people need an award ceremony. I'm going to tell you a quick little story. I went through a really tough situation where I had a manager, a leader, who told me that I would never be a good sales manager. I would never make it in sales. And it physically affected my body. I ended up being on antidepressants, and I had 240 something hours worth of PTO. I started taking time off, but I allowed another individual to take my joy from me. And even though I love what I did. So as time went on, I passed out twice at work. The last time that I passed out at work, I had, if you will, I had a epiphany while I was laying in the emergency room that I had to fix it. And so the next time I had to meet with this leader, he was going in on me so hard. And I said, geez, I said, what do you want from me? Because he didn't make eye contact with me in meetings, I promise you I didn't listen to him. And so that's I accept that responsibility. But that's another part of it. You got to have eye contact with your employees. Otherwise, they feel invisible.
Well, that seems like an obvious point, Lisa Crawford. What are some other points, maybe equally as obvious, but perhaps ones that my listener might want to be reminded of?
Taking time to understand employees' learning styles. I know if you have a small business, if you have a small business or mid to small to mid business, you can take time to pick up on a person's personality. So you can learn, how do they learn? You need to have classes with the leaders on how does this person learn? How can I make this person feel part of the team enough to where they can create the vision that I see? Help me with the vision.
Well, you mentioned just a moment ago, Lisa Crawford, of LJC Motivations, the boss who has criticisms, and you had a boss who was very critical of you and did not, in speaking with you, make eye contact with you. But what if the worker has some serious problems? Let's say there's a policy not being followed, or rules that are being only half obeyed, steps being omitted. Maybe there's some things that are necessary to give him in the way of correction. How does the listener, who's, let's say the listener's the owner or the manager,
right?
How does he bring up these points and yet not have the employee be discouraged?
Well, the HR department, there should be some things in place. I know we can't cover every problem that will come up with a client, with an employee, but there should be some basic things in place that could help the employee become better without just destroying them in their spirit and making them want to feel like this job is just a job or it's just a paycheck. But I wanted to let you know that once that leader that I had, we got back together after that meeting, he and I created such a relationship. This is the thing. We went from a bad relationship to such a phenomenal relationship. I ended up being platinum sales manager because of communication. And this is a key thing in internal guests. You have to communicate. And so many people don't.
Should the general perspective of the manager be this vis-a-vis each employee? I'm here to make you successful. For me to be successful, you have to be successful. And I'm going to come by your desk and could I sit down for a minute? And how's it going? What do I need to do to help you in your job? What would make you better in what you're doing? How can you be successful? Is that a fair way of summarizing what the listener should be doing to make himself a better owner, manager, or boss?
It's paying attention. So if you see an employee that may not be the same, or they don't seem to have the same spunk each and every day, just pay attention to them. Then you can take a moment and go and sit and see what's going on with them. I don't expect every manager to go and see every employee and all that. I don't expect that. But what I do expect is for you to pay attention, because if you can just come outside of the business part of it, the money part of it for a second, and go into the people part of it, your money's going to grow.
I'm talking with Lisa Crawford, whose specialty is workplace culture. She's a motivational speaker. She has 2 grown children and 3 grandchildren. And you have a background in the hospitality and sales fields. Say something about hospitality. How did you come into your line of work from there? What in that field brought you into what you're doing now in workplace culture consulting?
I started in hospitality as a concierge, and I moved my way up to sales and management. And just seeing the process of cross-communicating with different departments, I have been through all of them. And so seeing some lack in some areas, this is what made me choose this industry to have a development, workplace culture development, because I know the industry. I love hospitality. And my other job is I am a task force manager. So I travel all over to different hotels all over the United States, and I help them with their issues, whether they need a sales manager or whatever they need. But while I'm there, I am also watching their culture, so I can grow and help have more information for this business.
This is David Toulis. We're talking with Lisa Crawford. What general suggestions might you have that we haven't touched for the listener just joining us, Lisa? What are some of the main points that you would say you, the owner or manager, need to think about these to maintain a better, or to create a better workplace culture?
What do you have in place in your business that will praise the employee or show your vision and make sure they're on board with your vision? Have you made it plain? Is it clear? Are you walking in the vision yourself, and can they trust you? I mean, if they come to you with a small problem, are you going to handle it? Are you going to shift it to the side? What are you going to do as the leader? And I know there's a lot of things that leaders have to do to maintain a business, but your people are important as well.
And especially if that person has direct contact with a customer.
Exactly.
Anybody who deals with the public.
If you're dealing with the public, you need to make sure those frontline people who may be the lower end hirelings, as you said, make sure that they have a greeting, a smile on their face, because they are your money.
Well, I guess that might lead to the question of how people are paid. But if you have a question for Lisa Crawford or for me, the number is 800-8949. That's 800-8949. We are brought to you by yournews.com. And the argument of the David Toulis Show is every day it's the same argument. And that's love your neighbor and buy local. And we cover local economy and the free market. And we're trying to make the free market freer and also better, more humane. And that's where you're coming in, Lisa Crawford, to talk about how these personal relationships in a business, in a concern, can either retard progress or add to it. And so you also said you were in sales. When you're a salesman, say something about the gift of imagination that you really have to have in being a salesman or a saleswoman. How does imagination, which is, I'd say, God's gift, how does that make you better?
You have to see the vision of the client that you're serving. I'm all about vision. And you have to see the vision of the client that you're serving. And so being in sales, you're not just selling your product, you're selling the vision that you can provide what they need. So when they walk away from you, they have walked away with a feeling of, you know what, I'm going to come back because they fulfilled all my needs. And
the buyer really is buying you, the saleswoman, right?
They are definitely buying me, the saleswoman. And I've had several people say that. They said, you are the reason that I am here. And so I really appreciate that. Sales is not the product, but it's the person. And if you're a hateful person, so if you have a dominant personality as a sales manager, and then you meet somebody like me who is a bag of cotton candy and full of butterflies and unicorns, that's not going to work, because we need people like me, customers like myself. I need somebody to tell the story. I need someone to tell the story, let me know some family things, and let's rock and roll together and make this happen. So that is my thing about selling. I love people. So I had one of my coworkers tell me, yeah, I think these the paid people come here, but she loves everybody. Support them, love them, be thankful for being 90% radio, and we are back in a minute.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
Corrections made to the Jeff Styles police press release. Chattanooga police omitted 2 phrases after learning they were incorrect. Styles' attorney says the statement that he blacked out and went into red mode was made while Styles was under the influence of morphine. Styles was charged with aggravated assault and vandalism following a road rage incident that left him with a shot in the arm. Sheriff Steve Wilson tells the press that 2 deputies were accused by one woman of sexual assault. Those 2 deputies were reportedly off duty at the time, the accuser telling authorities that the 2 men held her against her will and attempted to have sex with her. The accuser was able to leave the apartment and call law enforcement. East Brainerd residents met to discuss the pros and cons of the proposed Hurricane Creek cell tower to be built by Verizon. That cell tower, if it's built, could be leased to many cell carriers, bringing better service down the line. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News Now.
Keon Rose, Nooga Radio 92.7, Action Sports Now. The Chattanooga FC women are on top of their division and one of 6 teams at the top of their league, the WPSL. Chattanooga FC improves their record to 5-0 after defeating the Peachtree City MOBA women's team 2-0. Carly Banks drew first blood, scoring the first goal with 17 minutes left in the first half, and Caitlin Hayes put the game away with a header in the second half with 32 minutes remaining. The Chattanooga FC women will go on the road and take on the Memphis Lobos, June 24th. The Mocs have announced the members of their first ever fan council, a 12-member panel that provides feedback on areas like fan engagement and game day enhancements. The fan council will get to look at budgets and marketing plans to improve the quality of UTC athletics involvement with the community. Council members will serve 1 to 2 year terms. Keon Rose, Nooga Radio 92.7, Action Sports Now.
Nooga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Hello?